Hello beauties, hello, welcome to another Loc video. It's been a minute, but we're here, and we are here by way of another subscriber asking a question. So today it's going to be just a quick 2.5 answering that question and keep it moving till the next time. But do you want to open up the vlog? What's up to my journey fam? Woo woo! Y'all know I love y'all. You know I love you, okay? We'll love you a long time. Welcome to any guest, and especially to any returning guest. If you are a returning guest, girl, boy, you might as well hit that subscribe button. What we waiting on? Anyways, let's get into this video. Okay, Barbara Cook 81 left a message. It was so funny and so cute. Bottom, she said, "You said you would have chosen a different process to lock your hair because of the financial investment the Sisterlocks required. Which one would you do instead and why?" So that is the question for today that we will be answering and taking a closer look at if you're interested. Barbara Cook, I hope you're watching. I will tag you because I promised you I would do a little bit more explanation in a video for you. So here it is. Quick 2.5 going back why I got Sisterlocks. If you have followed my story and my Sisterlock playlist from beginning to end, then you know by now that my locks actually started from perm to Sisterlocks, and the whole I got my hair locked at the roots, it was permed at the ends. We kept it that way for quite a while. One day I went ahead and snip cut them off, and now here we are. And again, I do have Sisterlocks, so I have the bigger side of the Sisterlocks, but they are Sisterlocks. Now let's talk about why I got the Sisterlocks with the perm. My hair had been messed out. If you've watched this video here, somewhere up here, then you already know the story behind it. Someone messed out my hair really badly, and I had tension alopecia, and I needed to do something with my hair. I had always told myself, if somebody messes out my hair one more good time, I'm gonna lock up, because I have had my hair messed out many times by many unprofessional stylists. I'm not gonna say that everybody in my town is, but when you come from small towns, you just have to be careful about where you're going and who you're dealing with. And I did have a lot of people that really didn't know what they were doing. So got my hair messed out unintentionally. It was a good gesture. My brother was trying to do something nice for me and trusted this person, and they made me look like Fred Sanford or something. So I had to go ahead and lock up. And I always wanted traditional locks. It was always the plan ever since I knew about what locks were. I wanted traditional locks. My brother actually has traditional locks, and he's been growing his for many years, and they're long, and I've always had the long hair in the family. Now he has the long hair in the family because of his locks, and so I always knew I wanted those. To be honest, I didn't even know that Sisterlocks even existed. There was no talk of two-strand twist and Sisterlocks and all of micro locks and all of that stuff unless you were getting some weave in your head. That stuff just didn't exist. Okay, I'm 40. I don't know how old y'all are, but how old I am, that stuff didn't exist. It was traditional Bob Marley type of locks. That's all I knew. And so it was always the plan to get those, but my hair was so thin and I was going to be forced to have to cut it off. I was always really nervous about getting traditional locks because I thought if I do the big chop, I'm going to look crazy out here. I already was afraid of how it would look in, you know, at the time, dreadlocks, locks, whatever you want to call them. It's all the same to me, to each his own. So I never got them because I was afraid of how I would look with them. I was afraid of like what people here in this small little town and closed minds would think and say and feel and all the things. And so my family, what they would think and say. So I was not going to do the big chop. And conversation had with my brother, as I already told on the other video, he suggested these after doing research. Hey, you don't have to do the big chop. You can actually get Sisterlocks. And so that's why I ended up with them. But if I had done it differently, because I don't want to say if I could have done it differently, because I could have. It was definitely a choice not to cut my hair off and get what I truly wanted, but not feeling confident enough led me to get the Sisterlocks instead, because I could still achieve the same goal and have locks and do something with my hair I always wanted to do without cutting it off and starting from a little baby fro or little bitty twiglets. I just wasn't feeling it, y'all. I just couldn't do it. I commend people that can and that do. It is a really big step, and I just could not make myself do that. So that is how I got here, and I had done my research, traditional locks. Then I figured out that you didn't have to get the big thick traditional locks. So I would have gotten thinner traditional locks, so like thicker than these, but thinner than your traditional locks. So thinner traditional locks, I would have done the like grid with it, because I would not want just the freestyle kind where they're just kind of pulling and twisting all over the head. I actually would have wanted a grid and smaller traditional locks. That's what I would have went for if I could do it over. And if I wasn't afraid of doing the big chop, I would have done the traditional locks small and very gridded. That's what I would have done. So I like those because unlike these have to be kept up. Okay, these little guys will get tangled into each other. They'll start trying to marry really quickly. The grid starts disappearing if you're not careful and you don't keep them up. The longer you let them go, they just look kind of crazy to me. And also your stylist is going to charge you out the wazoo. They already charge much more for the retying of these. And then if you go past like the 5 to 6 weeks, they're going to tack on extra money. So it behooves you to go very regularly and keep them up. But with traditional locks, what I've noticed is those beauties can like slick their edges down with some gel, honey, and smooth that stuff back. They can have this much new growth and it looks just fine because they can just slick it back with some gel, because they already use gel on their locks anyway. Slick it back with some water, some gel, pull it up in a ponytail, and it still looks cute without having to go and get a constant retie all the time. I love the look of it because, again, they can do the little baby hairs and slick it down and be all pretty. I can do a little bit of gel along my edges, but you really don't want stuff getting trapped in these little bitty, very, very patterned locks. You don't want stuff getting trapped in there. It gets trapped in there and then you can definitely see it. So I don't use a lot of gel products around my edges and my hair, because then next thing you know, you're flaking and all the things, versus traditional locks. They do it all the time. I see it all the time. It looks so cute. And I hate that I'm unable to do that, because I could let it grow out and then I guess tame my bush at the top with gel, but then I'm messing up my grid. My stylist is gonna be mad when she goes to retie me because I didn't let the grid grow all crazy, and I'm gonna get charged extra. So that is just one of the reasons why I wanted traditional locks. I love the look, how theirs look when they get it redone and it's gelled and all pretty and swooped, and it just looks cute and pretty. And also they can go longer stretches without having to have the hair done, and it still looks good. When my hair is overgrown, I still get compliments. I'm not going to tell you that I don't, but it doesn't feel pretty to me. Like it feels unkept to me until I go get it done, and then you can see the grid and the pattern and all of that again. So if I could do it over, it would have been the traditional locks. It is because less money to get it done. You can learn to do it very easily at home. You can do this at home too. There's plenty of beauties that do their own reties, but honey, I would not mess with this with my own hands, because I've been unmarried every lock in my head, okay? Because they are small and it is tedious and it's a no for me. But traditional locks, I see people retwisting and retying their locks all the time. They can use the gel and it makes it look so pretty. They can go longer amounts of time between getting it done. And yeah, I would have went that route. Now, am I content with what I have? I am. I love my locks. I get tons of compliments on them. They are still very freeing. You pay a little bit more for them, but I've also taught my daughter how to help me retie them, so it's not too bad. But I'm glad I did it. At the end of the day, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went the route I did. I'm glad I didn't just do it for the sake of, what everybody else does. I kind of just found my own lane, and at the end of the day, while it's not traditional locks, I still have them. And with these, you can go from this to a traditional lock. I could go to someone and have these combined if I wanted to. So I love that part of it. What I've also found is if you get traditional, you can't go from traditional to these, but you can go from these to traditional or stumps or whatever other kind you would want to go to. So I am still grateful for these. I do love my hair. And I'm just wanting to answer that question of, if I had to go start over, what would I have chosen and done? And that's what and why. So I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know. But I think I covered everything that was in my head of why I would have started traditional locks. And again, that's all I even knew. So that's all I had ever even researched till my brother told me about Sisterlocks. And I was like, what? I can have some locks and not have to cut my hair off bald? Say no less. Where do I go get it? And I would have traveled to the end of the earth to go get it because I was not confident in cutting my hair down to nothingness to start no locks. I don't even like how they look when they very first start. And so mine served its purpose for me and what I needed and wanted and what I wanted to look like. So, and even then with me feeling more confident, people were making all kinds of, you know, comments sometimes and questions and what you got going on with your head and what you're doing and all kinds of stuff. So I thought I can't even imagine if I had cut my hair off. So anyways, I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, definitely drop them down in the chat. And for the person who asked about the story time for the lady that cut my hair off, either I'll do a separate one or it's kind of laced in that lock story video that I popped up above. So I will definitely leave that video linked down in the description. I hope that you guys have had a great year already. If you're locked up, that your locks are flourishing and beautiful and that you're starting to get the compliments in and feeling yourself and feeling good. If you're thinking about getting locked, what you waiting on? What are you waiting on? There's so many different types, so many different ways you can do them. People are starting them at home by themselves now. I mean, there are so many ways you can do this. So hope this has helped someone. I hope you feel encouraged and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.